This is Andy Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by Otto Wallin over Zoom. Otto, it's always a pleasure. And on this occasion, you have a big fight to look forward to. Obviously, we've just had, oh, sorry, last night rather, we had the announcement of a Murat Gassiev fight. I'm sure you're relieved and excited now to have another big fight to work towards.
Yeah, finally. I feel like I've talked to you so many times now with nothing lined up. So it's really nice to talk and have something good lined up, and I'm really excited about it. It's been a while since I had a good fight, so I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm prepared really hard for it.
How frustrating, now you've obviously got this date in line, how frustrating has this period been where without having something to really get your teeth into, something which maybe really excites you, the way that I imagine this Gassiev fight will?
Yeah, I mean, it's been really hard at times. It's been over, it's been what 2.5 years since I fought Brazil, and then I really hadn't had any big fights. So it's been really hard at times. You're not making money. You're not, just training and training, and then it's hard to get really excited about, fights that just are so-called stay busy fights. So it's been hard. I mean, I even question, am I ever gonna have a real fight again? So it feels really good, and I'm really excited about it.
As you mentioned, those stay busy fights, and I can imagine how difficult it may be able to be able to get up for those. So, with that in mind, some people obviously been critical of some of those performances. How confident are you that you can step up above those levels and really give Murat his toughest test at heavyweight so far?
No, I know I can. I know I can. I just get a different feeling in my belly when I have a good fight like this, and we've known in advance. So the training has been really good, sparring, strength and conditioning. So I think everything is on point, and everybody gonna see that I can really step my game up, and I'm going to.
How long have you been in talks about this fight, Otto?
Well, this fight has been mentioned to me plenty of times over the years, to be honest, maybe the last 2 years, but nothing never happened. So now I think I signed a contract like at least a month ago. So it's been a while. I'm not sure why it hasn't been announced properly before this, but I've known about it, so it's all good.
Fight obviously taking place out in Turkey as well. How did it land in that side of the world?
I don't know. I don't know. That's the other side. They was first talking about Dubai, I think, said yes to that, and then it changed to Turkey. So, you know, I've been in Turkey before. It's a nice country, so I'm happy to go back.
Also, just kind of with Murat Gassiev, he's had 4 fights at heavyweight since moving up from cruiser. What have you made of his journey into the division so far?
It's really hard to tell from his fights at heavyweight. He's really fought people that wasn't there to really do anything but, to show up. Uh, so it's kind of hard to tell, but we know that he's a big puncher. He's a good fighter. He was a good cruiserweight. So we see how good he's going to be at heavyweight. I think that I have all the tools to beat him, and I plan on doing so.
We put a post out earlier on this morning, obviously waking up over here, seeing the fight announced, and it's kind of been split. Some people backing Gassiev, some people backing yourself. It's from what I saw in the comments, it's 50-50. But for yourself, people may be edging towards you on points. Is that the most likely route to you being successful, to taking the distance, to defeat him on the scorecards?
I think the most important is just get the win. Just get the win. I got to do everything I can to get the win, and I feel like I'm in a great position, and we see. I think anything can happen, and this is heavyweight, so I can land a good shot and get him out of there, or I guess take it to the cards.
What do you have to do to be able to defeat him then?
I think I gotta be smart. I gotta be aware at all times. We know he's a big puncher. He comes forward. Uh, I think yes, being myself, I'm being a good southpaw. I got good movement, good feet, uh, pretty fast hands for heavyweight. So I think I gotta use all that and be smart in there and um and neutralize him.
I'm not comparing yourself and Alexander Usyk, but obviously that was his toughest fight at cruiserweight. Um, Alexander being a southpaw, do you read anything? Will you look into kind of how Alexander fought him being southpaw yourself and try and maybe look to exploit similar problems which he found?
Yeah, I think that Usyk showed a good way how to beat him. Uh, I've been watching him a lot. My trainer also, we've been watching that fight, and then there's a lot of tapes on him. So I don't think there's just one way, but Usyk showed one way, and that was working really well for him. So definitely take note of that.
One thing you obviously have in your favour as well, Otto, is you're naturally a fully fledged heavyweight. I know Murat's been building up into the division. He's had 4 fights, as we say. You'll be number 5, but do you feel like that will be a factor come fight night, being naturally built into the weight?
I think it could be. I'm almost 6'6". I think he's maybe 6'3" or something. Uh, a little shorter than Usyk. So he's not the biggest heavyweight, and I think it could be a factor.
Talk to me about where your career can go with a victory from this fight, Otto. We've mentioned in the past big fights. You get this victory, you've got another big name on your record. Where do you see the coming years and months ahead for you?
I think I'm gonna be in a great position if I win this fight. I think the doors will be open to do anything, and I'm really excited about it. Things are feeling really good. So as long as I get the win here, I'm gonna be in a great position.
And what it was kind of a promotional setup with this fight, Otto. Who are the promoters behind this? Is Dimitri involved?
Dimitri is not involved. My contract is with Warriors Boxing, which is another American promoter. So the contract is only for this fight. So that's good.
That's fair enough, Otto. And kind of whilst I've got you some other fights, I want to get your thoughts on before I let you go. Zhang-Joyce 2 is a matter of weeks away now. How do you see that rematch playing out?
I'm rooting for Zhang. I've sparred with him a few times over here, and he's a good guy. And I think he did really good in that first fight. So hoping that he can do as well this time. And I think he can. I mean, he did it once. Couldn't he do it twice? But I'm sure that Joyce is going to come back and try to bring everything. And if he didn't get that injury in his first fight, he might have won it. But he did get the injury, and Shang caused it. So uh, we'll see. It's going to be interesting. But I'm rooting for Shang.
Otto, can you reflect on your sparring with Zhang Zhilei there for me? It's getting very different to Southpaw sharing the ring, but can you just talk to me about that when you did engage in sparring?
We didn't spar for this fight, or it's been probably over a year since we sparred last time. But when I first came to New York, 2017, he was the one of the first guys I sparred. That was great experience. I think we sparred maybe 2 times at that time, and then a few years later, we sparred again. We sparred quite a few times, maybe 10 times in total, or something. And I think that he's a good fighter, strong, big guy, and smart, southpaw, and throws pretty good combinations to be that big.
Otto, of course, but last time we spoke, it was around the positive test return from Dillian White. Robert Helenius stepped in to face Anthony Joshua, and then it came out that Robert Helenius also returned a positive test. We recently saw Joe Cusimano returned a positive test as well from his fight with Adam Kanaki. I just want to get your thoughts on all of the positive tests which have been returned, and as a fighter yourself, if it raises any more concerns for you when you step between the ropes.
It does. It does. I mean, I've always felt like there's a lot of drugs in boxing, but I really feel it's a good thing that they are getting caught. And I see some people complaining about Matchroom catching these guys, but they're only doing a good job because they've been testing them. So I really like that. I think they should keep that up, and hopefully more people get busted if they're using drugs. So I think boxing is a dangerous enough sport already. So there's no need for drugs here, and people can get seriously hurt. So it's just unfortunate. But I hope these guys get good bans, and hopefully that will make a difference in the future.
What did you make with AJ? What did you make of his performance in that fight with Helenius? Because he still had his critics, despite that 7th round stoppage win.
Well, he got the job done. That was the most important. Got a nice knockout. Maybe it didn't look great before that. I think that, a little hesitant to that. But he's working with a new trainer. See if that's gonna make a difference in the long term. But he got the knockout. That was the most important.
There's a lot of talk of him and Deontay Wilder potentially facing each other next. Those talks seem to have stalled a little bit. There's a lot of kind of ongoing changes in Saudi Arabia, which might affect if that fight can take place or not. But let's say in a world where do you see a Joshua Wilder fight, what would be your thoughts, Otto?
I think it would be great if they could make that fight. I think everybody wants to see it, but at this time, I feel like Wilder is going to be a big favorite because I mean Wilder is a huge puncher, and if he can hit Joshua, I think that would be it. But at the same time, Josh is a big puncher too, so he can hit Wilder as much and take him out. I think that would be good, but I see Wilder as the favorite.
And a former opponent of yours, Tyson Fury, had his first press conference with Francis Ngannou this week here in London. Tyson will go into it obviously as a huge favourite, but just get your take. Do you give Francis much of a chance crossing over from MMA?
No, I don't really give him a chance. I mean, he's fighting the best boxer that's out there right now in the heavyweight division. So I think it's gonna be extremely difficult for Francis to do anything. And yeah, I'm sure he shows up trying to do his best, but Tyson is a very good boxer, and it's gonna be extremely hard for Ngannou. And the opposite would be if they went into MMA. Tyson wouldn't have a chance with him in the cage. I know that he says that he has, and they would fight him in the cage, but there's no way he would never do that.
Also, just one other thing I want to get your thoughts on is recently we saw Alexander Usyk defeat Daniel Dubois. Obviously, the fight was then kind of, I wouldn't say controversy, but there was a lot of talking points around it. Was it a low blow or not? People suggesting maybe Daniel quit when the fight was stopped. I want to get your thoughts on both of those points. Did you feel like it was a low blow, and did you feel like Daniel did quit in the fight?
Well, I mean, I think the shot was borderline. I didn't think it was that low. I didn't think that he deserved the reaction that he got from Usyk. I just think it was a good shot to the body that hurt him. It wasn't on the nuts or anything. So I think that he overplayed it, and he was probably hurt from the shot. And I felt that the referee did a bad job just telling him to take more time. And yeah, I don't know why the referee had to get involved like that. It was a bit strange to me. So I didn't think it was very low, to be honest. It was probably borderline, but those shots happens all the time. And I feel like there's a tendency with Usyk. He complains a lot about shots to the body. And now when I've been watching Gassiev, he complains in that fight too about him hitting to the body or touching the belt, which happens all the time in sparring and fights. And it's not a big deal, but he made it out to be much bigger than what it was. And then the end of the fight, yes, hard to say. I thought that Dubois, he got up very late and he should have got up a little bit earlier. I was kind of surprised that they stopped it, but he should have got up earlier and then they wouldn't have stopped it. So yeah, it was that's my take on it.
Also, just one final one with regards to yourself and looking back, looking forwards rather towards your future. If you defeat Murat Gassiev, who is the man, kind of a tip of your tongue who you'd love to fight next beyond the Gassiev fight?
Well, I would love to fight for the title. So Fury Usyk right now, that's the biggest goal. If I can choose, I would fight one of those guys.
And then just the final one from yourself. Is there anything you'd like to say to Murat Gassiev ahead of your fight on September 30th?
I don't know how much English he speaks, and I don't speak Russian, but I hope he's ready. This is gonna be a real heavyweight fight, and I'm gonna show him uh, the real heavyweights.
Otto, listen, it's a pleasure as always. Obviously, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the last few weeks of your camp up until fight night. And of course, good luck if I don't speak to you before then. And thank you for speaking to me in Boxing News.
Thank you, Andy. Have a good one.